So I can't imagine there's a demand gen marketer out there who doesn't want to increase their pipeline. But what should they be thinking about first?
Yeah, and I think, and I mentioned it a little bit in terms of, how demand-based kind of helps sales and marketing. So a lot of, the reality for a lot of companies is that they have lots of, fragmented data. So they've got all of this critical data that's scattered across a variety of systems. And it's just, it just causes them, lots of issues because they're not all aligned on the same set of accounts. They can't see all of those different account interactions or what people within those accounts are doing. They perhaps can't identify the right accounts to target that are in market. They're not able to then orchestrate those relevant interactions across channels. Their sales and marketing teams aren't aligning around that common view of the account. And then measuring success and just tracking how their efforts are moving the needle is really difficult. So I think the first sort of part of that is really about embracing the data and creating that single view of all of your account data. So it's in one place so that your sales and marketing team can act as one team. So that's really critical for any sort of, go-to-market strategy to work really effectively. And then this kind of second part to that is then once you've got all of that data foundation in place, then you start building your total addressable market. So then you would work with, as a marketing department, you'll work with your operations team, your sales team to really understand who are the best accounts that we want to target. So who matches our ideal customer profile. So we look at things like, what are the typical industries that we sell into? What are the revenue ranges? It might be, employee size. Are we more focused on small businesses, mid-market, enterprise size accounts? Are there specific industries that we want to go after? What are the typical job titles? So all of those characteristics that make up your ideal customer profile. So you have those. And then you kind of take that and then, there's technologies out there that can help you build a target account list based on, okay, these are the accounts that match that profile. Then we layer on intent data. So that's the key thing. It's like, these are like, they kind of tick the ideal customer profile boxes for us. But actually out of those accounts, who are the ones that are in market right now? So I think that's the key kind of point is like putting that data, building that data foundation, getting your ICP in kind of built and in place, and then start to look at solutions that are going to help you find the target accounts that are in market and giving you that intent data. And I think that's the first step in terms of jump-starting your pipeline because you're able to then focus on the accounts that are in market right now.
Awesome. And how often would you do something like that then? Is that something that you do throughout the year then? Is it something that you do yearly? I'm just thinking from a practical point of view, if somebody's thinking, actually, I probably need to do this, how often do they actually need to do a piece of data work like this then?
Yeah, so in terms of your ideal customer profile, those sort of characteristics shouldn't sort of change too much unless you're bringing out lots of new products to the market. So it might change depending if you're bringing out new products to the market. You might tweak your ICP for each of those products if they're suited for a particular type of business. But if your, if your product doesn't change kind of too much or your ICP doesn't change too much, it really depends on your sales cycle. So how long is your sales cycle? If you've got longer sales cycles, then you need to have, fewer accounts on that target account list. If you've got quite quick sales cycles and maybe it's like 3 to 6 months, you need to have more accounts on your target account list. So you're going to be updating them more often. So we're at Demandbase, we're targeting a mixture of mid-market and enterprise, and we make we'll make slight changes to the target account list every quarter, and then a bigger change every 6 months.